Last week's game obviously didn't turn out the way we would have hoped. You can't play the way we played on the road and have a chance to win, especially against good football teams. We made way too many mistakes, coaching and playing. Turnovers, mistakes in the kicking game, and we gave up 9 points on offense with an interception return and a safety. And we were still in the game. It goes to show you we got 19 points behind, and we started making some good plays on both sides, started playing as a team, but we didn't play as a team for about 2.5 quarters. I'd say about a quarter and a half we looked like a football team that we should look like. So that being said, we still got a lot of work to do, obviously, but we can't keep making those mistakes, giving points away. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Temple game at the beginning of the year. We got behind because of mistakes, and then we caught back up, and then we just couldn't finish it off at the end. Very similar to Temple, but that one was at home in the first conference game of the year. So we've got a lot to work on. Got another good team coming in this week that's very hungry to go to a bowl game, and they've got 5 wins, and they'll come in and with one of the, I guess, close to a top 10 offense. They've played very well. They've got a good quarterback, very good receivers, run the football well. They're pretty balanced. Defensively, they're very similar to what we do on 4-man front. Play a lot of zone, play some man. But just watching them play, they really have competed in some games that we have and have lost some of those. You know, one being to Memphis. They played their hearts out, scored a lot of points, but just couldn't outscore them. And so very similar to us. So that being said, we've got senior week this week. We've got close to 24 guys that are scholarship, non-scholarship, that will be honored in pregame right before kickoff, somewhere around 7:20. And it's a big honor for a senior to have gone through what they go through in college, get their degree, and then also playing 4 or 5 years of college football. That's a job within itself. So very proud of the seniors, and hate to see those guys go. This is their last time to play in Nippert Stadium, so hopefully we can play one of our better games for them, if nobody else, and show what kind of team that we could play like if we play one of our best games. So that should be a big week. We'll have several things that we'll do with our seniors this week, as we always do, to kind of honor them in front of their teammates and let the teammates see what they've got to look forward to, because in just a few weeks these seniors will be finished playing organized football, and last time they'll put on a helmet competitively and really be on any type of team sport. So it's really a sad deal. I've seen a lot of graduating classes come and go, and to see so many of them come back and wish they'd had another year or whatever. But it all seems to go so fast, but you build a lot of memories with these kids, winning and losing, and see kids grow up. And so really proud of these seniors. Questions?
You mentioned Tulsa's offense, which obviously is good, but their defense, they're allowing 519 yards a game.
Yeah, we got to be pretty close to the same thing. In this league,
not 519.
Well, not 519, but in this league, you're going to give up yards. I mean, you're going to give up yards. We knew that Houston was going to have a good football team. We actually played good on defense last week. We got a little bit beat up, as I understand that Houston did. They got a little bit beat up, very physical game. But I thought both defenses played fairly well last week. You're going to give up yards. The thing that you hope to do is force the other team to make mistakes and keep them out of the end zone more than you. I mean, that's what football has become. But very similar defense to ours in terms of how they play it, how they manage a game. Knowing that you're going to give up some yards, just hope that your offense can not give up points but score points. And they're obviously they played some pretty good teams as we have, and given up a lot of big numbers.
How disappointing is this season the way it's turned out so far?
You know, it's hard. You know, it's hard to know. Coming in the season, this was our chance to have one of our better teams. But I knew going into the season it's going to be much more competitive. We won 9 the last 2 years each year, won 7 in a row last year. But I knew a lot of underclassmen on that last year, and the teams that we're playing. Some very good teams that have upped their game, and I knew going into the year there's not a touchdown difference between most teams. So we have been our own worst enemy, and that's what's disappointing, that we have given up so many points. On turnovers, I think we're 117th in turnover. And I don't care how good you are. I mean, you're not going to win a lot of games, especially close games when you're giving balls up. Last week we fumbled one in the end zone. We had a punter drop a ball in the wet weather. And that's one thing I'd like to say. We have handled the weather a lot better in other games, and we've had some weather games this year. We've handled the games a lot better in the weather. We didn't handle that one very well. I mean, we act like the ball was slippery. Houston didn't have that much of a problem. Obviously, we threw the ball pretty well and made some plays, but we gave up 14 points on those two, the fumble in the end zone, and then obviously the fumble around the 20-yard line. We just lost our focus. But they have won games this year on turnovers, and we have not done that. We have not forced turnovers enough to even it up. So. It's disappointing, way disappointing to where we're at 5-4. It's hard to accept all of them. You know that some of them that we played, they came down to the end, and you would think out of several of these games we would have been able to make up that difference. Maybe not all of them, but several of the ones that we played. We haven't lost to bad teams. We've self-destructed, and that's hard. That's harder to do than knowing you just got whipped when you go out there. And we've not been whipped this year. We've actually put ourselves in a situation but not able to finish and close. And as coaches, that's what you do. You look for reasons and why, and of course it all starts with turnovers. You can't go into a game like that, especially on the road against a team that's on a run, and give up safeties, interception returns, fumble in the end zone, and make those penalties. We had 4 or 5 personal foul penalties, me being one of them. You can't do that. I mean, you can't give up that many yardage on penalties. We had 2 third down situations where we had a rough in the passer, we get off the field. I mean, it's over. We dropped 2 interceptions right to us. I mean, other teams catch those. And so we have not been very opportunistic and flipping the coin in terms of mistakes. And that's basically the bottom line of the season. Mistakes that we could have taken advantage of, we didn't, and the other team has.
How much of that disappointment or frustration can you sense in the players? Are they, at this point, difficult to motivate them to finish the season?
Well, you leave your seniors. You have to have seniors that want to go out the right way. Last year, we had a good group of seniors. This year, we got a good group of seniors. And we were down and out early in the year last year, if you remember that. We were knocked down pretty good, and then we were able to make plays in the tough games, such as Houston last year. We made the plays in that game. They didn't make them against us. We were able to win that game at the end of the year. East Carolina the same way, had to kick a 47-yard field goal. So there hadn't been a lot of difference. It's just we have not made the plays, but it hadn't been because of lack of leadership for the seniors, because they're the guys that you want to go out the right way. The rest of these guys sitting behind them in this room are going to get that opportunity to be in their chair one day. So hopefully they learn from that. We, every Sunday and every Tuesday, we talk seniors talk. They get up and visit with players. This will be a big week, as I said earlier, because this is their last home game. They want to go out the right way. The season's not a, total loss. Obviously, we're not going to be in any championship game, which is your number one goal. But there is still a lot to be accomplished, and these players understand that, because, as I said, in a few weeks they're done, and so they want to have the remembrance of their last year being a more success than anything else.
Where do you find the balance between, the conference, I think, has played better than most people predicted at the beginning of the year, but for you guys, for lack of better terms, it's kind of been, it's a rough schedule. On one hand, you got to be happy the conference is going so well, but it's hurting at the same time.
Yeah, well, as I told everybody picked us to win it, and I've always said there's not between 3/4 of the teams in our league, there's not a touchdown difference. So it all comes down to the fourth quarter, comes down to mistakes, who's got the best focus, and it's frustrating. You know, we had a chance in Memphis. We had a chance in Temple at the end after getting behind. We had a chance against Houston, and all three of those. And if you look at BYU, even though they're non-conference on the road, a good football team that is probably going to win 80, maybe 90% of their games, is, you know, we had a lead going into the last 12 minutes of the game. So you always look for reasons as a coach. We hadn't been a good finisher. We hadn't kept our focus for 4 quarters. There's somewhere in the game that we've just basically given points away or not scored the ones that we should have. Last year we did that. We were more opportunistic and we were able to capitalize on mistakes. We have not been a capitalizing team this year. And, you know, those things throughout the year, you know, sometimes they even out. They ain't evened out this year. Not for us. I mean, we just continue to, you know, make the mistake to help the other team out, to motivate them, which we really and truly did the other day. The first 7 minutes of that third quarter, you know, that thing was getting away from us quick. And we got behind 19 points. And then we come back and scored 2 touchdowns and two 2-point plays, and then had the ball at the end. And, you know, Gunnar made some good throws. We didn't, they weren't quite as precise that we normally have. So I thought we were going to win the game. I never thought we would lose that game all the way down to the end. But we're good enough to give ourselves a chance. We hadn't been good enough to get over the hump.
What is Johnny Holton's status?
He's had a hamstring all year long, in and out. He felt it getting tight and start pulling a little bit, and that's the guy probably would have caught him anyway, but he started to pull up, and you know, we MRI his leg about every 2 or 3 weeks, and you know, he was probably 90% last week. He's probably knocked down to 80% now. Hopefully get back to 90 this week. He wants to play. This is his last year. We're not going to put him in harm's way. Mostly it's just pain. Is it going to get any worse? The doctor said probably not, but we keep an eye on him. He's a competitor, and you know, he wants to play and he wants to be on everything. It's hurt us a little bit, him getting hurt in the Memphis game. It was an MCL on a kickoff return, and that slowed him down for 3 or 4 weeks, and now the hamstrings got him. It's just been a tough year for him, and he has not had injury problems up to this point.